If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Liverpool transfer news as $1 billion star shortlisted, with Reds close to agreement. Liverpool transfer news as a $1 billion star has reportedly been shortlisted by Richard Hughes, while the Reds are said to be close to an agreement to sign a player after the World Cup. Liverpool has plenty of time to prepare ahead of the summer transfer window, although there is a lot of work still to be done before the club can think about making more signings. Arne Slot's side faces a battle to qualify for next season's Champions League, with the Reds lagging behind Manchester United and Chelsea ahead of the latest round of Premier League fixtures this weekend. Liverpool will need to add to its options later this year, which makes reaching Europe's top table all the more vital, especially if it's eyeing up even more mega money moves, as the latest reports are suggesting. Here is the Liverpool.com verdict on the transfer gossip to emerge around the Reds today. Liverpool sporting director Richard Hughes has Eduardo Camavinga on his shortlist as he looks to bolster the club's midfield, according to Anfield Watch. It's claimed that the Real Madrid star is on a list that also includes Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson, Warren Zaire-Emery, Keith Smith and Aya Bouadi. Signing Camavinga though could depend on the Reds securing a place in next season's Champions League, and that's not the only hurdle they could face. According to The Athletic, the French international has a €1 billion, $1.2 billion, release clause after extending his contract in 2023. Anfield Signal says, "Well, we can certainly rule out Liverpool matching the release clause, although those are generally performative on the part of Real and Barcelona, and both sides will generally have a price for their players if they think they can get a good deal. But as much as Camavinga tends to get linked with Liverpool, it never feels like a deal that will get done. The player himself has often insisted that he doesn't want to leave the Bernabeu, and even if it's not $1 billion, the Reds would almost certainly have to break the bank anyway." Reports in Brazil are claiming that Liverpool is close to agreeing terms with Palmeiras for midfielder Alan Elias. According to thefootball.com, the Reds are looking to structure a deal that would see the 21-year-old move to Anfield after the World Cup. Palmeiras is said to be pushing for a total package of €35 million, $41 million, although the final figure has not been agreed yet. Newcastle and Aston Villa were also linked with Allen, while Napoli is said to have failed with its own offer. Anfield Signal says, it would be a surprise to see Liverpool going down the route of signing a player straight from South America. Usually, the club prefers to wait for them to make the move to one of the smaller European leagues, like Portugal, before making the move. We are seeing teams go straight to the source a little more often now though, especially when Palmeiras is involved. Chelsea has had some success with Estevao, and although Endrick has been sent out on loan by Real Madrid, he is making an impact at Lyon. Perhaps it's time for Liverpool to follow its rival's lead. Alexander Isak will prove Wayne Rooney wrong as massive Liverpool boost edges closer. Liverpool boss Arne Slot says Alexander Isak could return around the March international break, with the Swedish striker yet to get going since his record-breaking transfer. If Alexander Isak had his time again, would he change tack last summer when he forced through a move to Liverpool? Going on strike has cost him match fitness, but it might have got the transfer over the line. Yet to get going at Anfield, though, since his $169 million, £125 million, move, Isak is expected back around the March international break. Arne Slot was reluctant to put too much pressure on the situation, but the striker has been stepping up his rehab. Last week, he was pictured in the gym. While he is not back on the grass yet, or even close to team training, it might only be a month or 6 weeks before he returns. When he does, as evidenced by his slow start, Isak will need to get back up to full speed. Missing the entirety of preseason proved costly and he will still be playing catch-up. Once he is fit again, however, the level of player that Liverpool has brought in will become clear. Indeed, it was the exact kind of thing that the Reds signed him for that saw him get injured in the act of scoring against Tottenham. A return for Isak can only be a hugely positive thing for Liverpool heading into the last few weeks of the season. By that point, there should still be plenty to play for. Jamie Carragher said in the summer that Liverpool shouldn't have signed both Isak and Hugo Ekitike, with the latter, who has scored 15 goals so far, taken from Eintracht Frankfurt for a fee that could reach $106 million, £79 million. But as is the case with any position, Liverpool needs multiple options. The reason that Luis Diaz has been missed this season is that no one came in to replace him and push Cody Gakpo to new levels. After Ekitike scored twice against Isak's former club, Newcastle, last month, Wayne Rooney suggested that the Swede would be concerned watching on, wondering how he might get back in the team. "I'd be more worried if I was Isak, sitting there watching," Rooney said on his BBC podcast. His Liverpool career just hasn't got up and going yet. Obviously, they paid a lot of money for him and these two, Ekatike and Florian Wirtz, seem to have a really good understanding of each other's game. They look like a real threat. With Isak available again, though, Ekatike, if anything, could reach new heights. He will be better rested, for one thing, rather than being overplayed, and will have the feeling of another elite player challenging him for minutes. I think they're talking about a 4-4-2 diamond, which probably looks a little bit different when they're defending, Emile Heskey told Anfield Signal last week. I think that should suit both Ekatike and Isak. Ekatike is a 9 but he is very versatile. He could play a number 10 role if needs be and he runs all over the place, so he could probably chase into the channel and disturb the back four. However Liverpool fits Isak in, his return will only be a good thing. For Slot, it could even prove decisive in the run-in, whatever the Reds still have left to play for when he is back up to speed. Virgil van Dijk makes gutted admission after Liverpool injury blow. Wataru Endo is set to be sidelined for Liverpool for a while after suffering a lower foot injury in last week's victory at Sunderland, with Virgil van Dijk saying the squad are gutted for their teammate. Virgil van Dijk has revealed that the entire Liverpool squad are gutted for Wataru Endo as the midfielder comes to terms with what is feared could be a prolonged spell on the treatment table. Endo, who was making only his first Premier League start of the season, sustained a lower foot injury during last week's 1-0 victory at Sunderland whilst clearing a dangerous cross in the second half. Having initially attempted to continue, the Japan captain was ultimately stretchered off, and head coach Arne Slot has so far been unable to shed any meaningful light on the nature of the problem when pressed during press conferences. Slot did, however, suggest on Saturday that there remained a possibility Endo could return before the season's conclusion, though he remained tight-lipped when asked whether the Samurai Blue skipper had suffered a broken ankle. Red skipper Van Dijk says he and his fellow players are deeply saddened to see the well-liked Endo sidelined for the foreseeable future. "It's a shame, we were all really gutted after the Sunderland game," Van Dijk said. "I had a similar injury when I was at Southampton, a foot injury, and it's not an easy one to take. But we are here for him, we are going to be together with him all the way and support him with everything he needs. It's not great, he is such an important and respected member of the team, he's one of the leaders and he always leads by example as well. On the pitch he gives everything and you saw that in the game. It's a big blow but we have to deal with it and we will. Hopefully it's not going to take too long but it looks like it will be a whilst." Liverpool manager Slot addressed the media following Saturday's commanding 3-0 FA Cup victory over Brighton, stating, "There is definitely a chance Endo can return before the end of the season, but he will be out for a whilst. We cannot say exactly how long yet. It's different with every injury. Sometimes you can make the diagnosis straight away, sometimes you need a few more days to see how it develops and that last thing is true for Wata. But he will not be in the squad next week and he will not be in the squad next month. But we are hoping at the end of the season he has a chance to be with us again. But that also depends on the upcoming days. Is it broken? We don't know yet. That's the first lie I've made since I've been over here."